You know chords.
Know a few chords, haven't
Yep.
played in a long time. Picked up a guitar for the first time again 2 days ago.
Great.
After 2 years.
All right. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Dayavati?
I know I know where my fingers go for most of the major chords. I know E minor and A minor.
Yep.
I'm real slow getting there.
Yep.
You know, and I can play listen, listen, listen. That's the only one I can
Nice.
really play.
Yeah.
2 chords.
Yep.
But like when I'm doing, reading the book and finding the chords, I have no idea how to strum. Or Mister once told me if it's a 3/4 time, it's down, air stroke, up, down, up, down, up, down. I've tried that one, and other than that, I know I asked Arya once, help me figure out how to strum.
Yeah.
So I don't know the rhythm. Even if I can get my fingers to the chords faster, I don't know how to keep up the rhythm in the strum.
Okay. So it's a good mix. I think everybody's kind of in the same place. I'll just tell you a few things, and let's see how well it relates, and then you can ask me other questions about things that I forgot to mention. So what I would say, your homework for the next week, I would say, first of all, those folks that don't know chords, you can learn all of these online. Just look up guitar chords. Major chords are the first thing you want to learn. Minor chords are the next, and those are all pretty basic. And then there's other chords that come in after that. But major, minor, that'll get you like really far with most of the music we do. It depends on your hand size and your guitar size. That depends on how easy it is to do certain chord, configurations. I'll show you a couple of variations that make it a little easier to change between chords, but it works for my hand. And if you have a smaller hand or a bigger guitar neck, or you just don't like it, you don't have to do those things. But one of them is like the G chord. I learned it like that originally, but if you play it like this with your little finger down there, and then it's a lot closer to like what the C chord is. So you can kind of switch between those.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah, so the little finger on the bottom, and then the
And
next
then
finger, the ring
these.
finger on the top, very top, yeah, and
there.
then the middle finger on the
That's it. With
fifth
those
string.
little strings.
Slightly trickier, but better to learn that
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
With
your
fingers
hand
better
allows
this
it,
way?
you can practice that. And that's just because like a sing out with joy. It's really hard to switch between, G and C otherwise. But, so that's just one thing. Now another thing I'm going to recommend that you do, but if you can't do that, don't worry about it. It's just like a little thing. What I am going to recommend you do is practice your chords. You can practice with a pick or with finger picking. But I want you to get used to where the root of the chord is. Now, what do I mean by the root of the chord? Who can tell me?
Bass note.
Bass note. And why? What is that? Like for a C chord, what's the root on a C chord?
C.
Yep. That's because, why? Why is that the root?
I don't know what you're looking for. If I do a C chord,
Yep.
now what are we looking for?
We're looking for, they're telling me that this note is the root.
To strum one to pick the chord.
Yeah. Now why is that? What's a root?
It's what everything is
The
referenced back
basic.
to.
Yeah, I mean it's basically the name of the chord. So a C chord, it's the note C, which is what this is. It's also what this is. Okay, but I say that because if you're playing a C chord, you want to start playing that on this 5th string. And
On its root. The
Yeah.
root,
so just try this with me. Do the thumb and then the bottom 3 strings. Okay? Now do that again. Thumb and then bing, bing, bing. So this is thumb 1, 2, 3, 4 is the way the guitarist
Okay.
charts look at it. It's kind of weird because it's
Say
5 fingers,
1, 2,
but
3, 4.
thumb 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a little odd, but that's the way they do it. If I'm wrong on any of this, well, I'm wrong, but I think that's the way I remember it. So thumb 1, 2, 3. Thumb 1, 2, 3. Try that. Okay, now try this. Now listen. Okay. So thumb, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
And we hold the whole C chord, that's whole chord.
But I don't want you to play that top string.
Oh, that's right, I have my wrong finger.
Yeah. And this finger, this wants to be down here.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
right.
That's right.
Dambara, we should be playing 4, 5, 6 with 1, 2, 3, or 4,
You
5,
should
6
be doing-
with 2, 3, 4.
4, 5, 6. In
4,
this
5,
case.
6 with
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
And what he's talking about, strings are usually numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got your finger numbers and you got your string numbers. And he's saying that these 3 fingers are going on 4, 5, 6. So it's do that with me. Okay, now do a G chord in that same way.
Where's the root for G now?
Exactly, where is it?
I guess it's up at the top.
Yep, that's G.
Now then we do the same.
Yes. Now how about F?
Full F or modified?
Well, that's a good
I can only
question.
play modified.
Because see what Arya's doing, camera, you can't see this, but Arya's doing this full
Fine.
barred F chord. Now, what am I talking about with a barred chord? So this is an E chord, and normally you play it like this. You know, we're just sort of used to playing it like that, right? But now this is another little thing. If you're gonna get really fancy, which I'm not, but you watch Ramesha, for example, you know, if you are used to, or Prashad, if you're used to barring chords, if you get used to playing an E like that, instead of like that, like if you play it like that, and you got this finger free, you can play that E anywhere else. You know, you can play an F chord. You can play sharps and flats, because all you're doing is just moving that E up the.
How you can do that? My finger.
Yeah.
It just takes time though.
It takes,
It's not easy at
absolutely.
first.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, you know, just watch the strings.
Uh-huh.
You want to press
I
those
still
those
I used to
3
play that
strings
like
down,
when
but you
you're
want to
playing
use
a
those
chant
fingers
and
to
you're
do
like,
it.
I can play it, but
Yeah.
I'd much rather just go
Oh, yeah.
With the pinky.
So just don't use that.
barring it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's way easier just to go.
Right. And now use that and that. Okay, so that's
And then
That's an E
it's
chord.
habitual, you know? You
now move it up
used
one.
to it and I was like, oh, I want to do the hard one.
And then use that to
Yeah.
go all across those
I
strings.
don't like
Just
doing the
plumb.
hard F.
That's a barred chord.
My wrist and my feet.
So when I said play F, Arya went like this, because she was playing a full chord, which sounds fuller. So listen to this. And if you can really, you know, if your finger's really good and strong, and you can get all the strings down, then you'll hear a nice clean F like that. Now you'll find that a lot of people will play a simpler version
That's what
because it's kind of, you know,
it's
it's
easier.
cheating, it's easier, it doesn't require as much. But if you do that, you need to play this 4th string first,
For the root?
because that's an F, that's the root.
Okay.
Yep, so
The first 2 and then 3.
You don't even know that version.
Oh, I just don't play that up.
yeah. So if we're doing this finger picking thing, this would be C, you know,
The second finger
and then G.
has 2 at the same time.
No, it's not.
Now, what about F was the question? Well, we can either do this,
See, it's what I mean about it being habitual.
or we can do, oh, did I say F? Sorry, yeah, that's right, okay. But if we're playing the simpler one, we have to start on the 4th string.
D
So
minor
the
Now-
root
seven.
then
Like
is the
that,
4th
too.
string.
Yeah.
It's D minor 7.
Now, why am I emphasizing this about where you start the string? Because it's a cleaner sound than if you hit the wrong string. Like on F, if you're doing a simple F and you go, well, that's not bad. That's kind of bad.
Yeah.
That's what's called an open string, but you'll notice if you look at guitar charts, when you look online and you look at the F chord, if they're playing the simple F chord like this, it'll have this with an X over it. That means don't play that string,
Yeah.
because it sounds wrong.
It
So
doesn't belong in the
it
chord.
doesn't belong to chord. This one, you could sort of get away with that, because it's the same as another note, but it's not the root.
Where your first finger is, what you're using as the root.
Yeah, So your thumb always wants to land on the root of the chord. So I'd say it's a really good idea in the next week to just practice moving from chord to chord to chord and just get used to where that root is. How about A minor?
Even making my fingers do this is challenging.
Yeah.
And you're doing it, and you don't go back down, you go up, right? Up both times?
Yeah, I'm doing like, now I'm doing A minor now, so I'll go.
Okay, A minor.
And this is not to say that this is the only finger picking arrangement, I'm just starting as an example.
But Dambara, for
Yeah.
strumming, you can strum all 6, right?
No,
Only one?
They only
Same
started
thing.
with
I mean, yeah.
Because
Basically,
if
it's
you're-
along that chord,
if you're doing an F chord,
you're tainting your F chord with those other notes that don't belong. Sometimes they can work, like you said, but
sometimes, but do
generally
not,
speaking-
do not assume that.
whenever you're playing A minor, you're just playing those.
Because then you're just banging away, but then there's strings that don't sound right.
Yeah.
So I can't, you said, how are you doing an A? I'm trying to see.
Okay, well, we were doing an A minor there,
Yeah, I think I've got it.
which
My
I'm
finger.
doing like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
and so,
doing it different, not the same, okay.
so if I would use a finger pick, it would be. Yeah. It's tricky, huh? Easier with fingers, isn't it? You know.
I'm up too high for
And generally, if you're on your own and it doesn't sound right, then
Ain't.
something's wrong. Figure it out. Okay, so so that's the first thing, is just play your chords, whether they're strummed or whether they're picked, clean. Try to get used to going for that root string first. And if you're playing an F in the simple way as opposed to the fuller one, you know, or a D, which is 4 strings. Now, why is a D like that? Because if you were to bar it, it would be like that, only it's very hard to play that. It would be C moved up to with a bar, but a simple way to do that is just to do that, you know, instead of that. So you're just playing these lower 4 strings and kind of cheating that way.
So you're plucking the 1 before for 4 strings.
Uh-huh. Okay, so,
The root is not the 3rd string?
and that's why I'm doing these bottom 3 strings, because for chords like F or D,
3 fingers?
you only have 4 strings. So you're starting on the root, and then you only have 3 other strings to work with, unless you're barring it.
So for the D, it's not the string, the first string your finger's on, it's
Well,
the string above it.
no.
Oh,
Well, it's okay, so now this is something else. You want to start with the root string, which is the D.
okay,
It's that 4th string,
all right.
6, 5, 4. Okay? But in the case of this, it happens that A is part of a D chord. So you can, what I recommend is that instead of just sticking with these 4 strings, which can get boring, you can alternate. You can do this. Because A works with that, but you don't want to go up to the 6th string, which will be like this. Oh. Okay? So do this with me. On a C chord, you start here and then alternate with this one. So let's try that. It's just one way of doing it. Now go to the E and see what happens. I mean, play a C chord, but do this. It's okay because it fits with a C chord, so you could, but it's not pretty. It's kind of nice if the root chord is sort of like at the bottom, you know, the bottom of the. It's sort of what you build the rest of the chord on.
Say for D again?
The D would be, you're stuck with the D. Well, no,
You can go
you're
to the
not
A.
stuck. You can go to the A. You can go down on that. Because why not? It's pretty. So life is a dream. can alternate. So do it at home, just do it nice and slow and easy so that you're comfortable finding that root note. And then you can do it faster and faster. Okay? This is a lot, I know. But that's why we have a recording. You can go back and look at it again.
So I don't understand why they're getting another, that's the, there's the root.
Yep.
But he's just talking about how sometimes you can swap out another
I
string.
understand
Okay.
the root, but I think it sounds like I'm missing a.
Well,
Are
I'm
you
going like
only
this.
3 times?
Bum. And then the next note I'm doing this. These high 3 strings.
Oh, I know, that's what I wasn't coming back up.
Yeah.
I was going down.
That was
I
it.
got it.
That's the secret, yeah. But just use these 3 fingers to do these bottom 3 notes, strings. Only use your thumb for plucking
Right.
up here.
Like in there. But
Yep.
you're going from the top.
So it's just a matter of practicing, Okay, so, for example, let's play something. Name a song we can pick out of there.
Something easy-ish.
Life's a Dream, why not? Now, does everybody know about the Ananda Music Library?
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay. For those of you that don't, anandamusiclibrary.org, username, Ananda Music, one word, password,
Joy, joy.
Joy Joy, all lower letters, and then you will see everything Ananda Music related, and videos, really good videos of choirs singing, guitarists demonstrating how to play. It's really fun looking at those guitarists do their thing.
I've seen that on there.
Yep. And so that's a really good reference. You'll also find, like, I have an iPad that has all the guitar music on it. And so it's just easy to, and you can find that on Ananda Music Library. You can get, if you want just words and chords, if you're a guitar accompanist, you can find scores with just words and chords because it's a little easier to follow than all the different, on one page instead of 2 pages. But you really should use the music score with all the notes and staves, the lines and things first to make sure that you're doing it right. If you do that and then you're just looking for a simple 1-page thing, you can find that on here. On here being on Ananda Music Library, and you can put that on your iPad or whatever if you want to. Okay, so Life is a Dream, for example. I'll look at my version of that. Badri will look at the Ananda Songbook, and we can share, if you want, on this. And how about David's going to look at his phone, because he's got it on there. And we'll do it in what key?
A is what it is
Yep.
in here.
Okay.
Just do it.
So I'm going to go to Guitar Scores and go down to Life is a Dream.
Didn't even know that was in there.
Hey. Yep. So, yeah.
Most of what's on Blogspot
Is on Ananda Music Library.
It's all bubbled up already.
Yep.
So you just go to Ananda Music.
Just go there. It's there. Yep. And then on the home page, it'll have a link to collections,
Yeah.
and that takes you to a page that's got all these downloadable collections, including all the guitar music.
Yeah.
So that's a really good resource too.
Okay.
Along with that book. Okay.
So, is it D minor 7?
D major 7th.
D major 7.
So the nice thing about looking at this stuff is that
Oh,
the
the
odd
unusual
chords
chords.
it'll show you what they are. Now notice the XX. What we're looking at here is Life is a Dream has a D major 7th. So this has a sample of that. It's got a chord chart that shows you how to do a D major 7th. And it's a 4-string chord. XX means you don't play those top strings. But instead of D with the 2 and then 1 sticking out, it's all 3 in a line like that. Or like that on your guitar. Well, you can't see it, but anyway.
What fret was that?
What is D minor?
D,
Okay, D major
Major
7th.
seven.
So here's D,
second fret.
here's D major 7th.
The heavenly chord.
Yeah, and then here's, there's a Beatles song in there somewhere.
What did you just put there?
I should know, but I don't know off the top of my head, but it's just nice. Okay, so that's D major 7th.
So it's the second fret, the last three strings.
Yeah. And then D major 7th
That's not D major 7?
is these 4 strings. You're just moving this back a little bit,
Wait,
okay?
sorry, I'm not getting that.
Okay, this is D.
D.
Yeah.
So you're just moving this one back. I'm playing it a bar chord there.
Bottom 3 strings.
Bottom four or what?
Bottom 3.
So you just move one string, one finger.
Yep. That's it. And then D minor is here. You know? But this is the other one I was playing. What's that?
There's no D minor in that one,
That's-
right?
I have to look it up. D6th? I don't know. Find out. No, there isn't D minor. I was just telling you different D chords. Okay, so let's put this up here. So we're doing Life is a Dream, friends. And the reason that we had that D major 7th there is that it goes, so we'll do the strumming like we talked about in this case. Life, whoops. Key of A, right? Life is a dream, time like a stream, carries our burdens away. This is the solo version, not the choir version. Never despair, joys everywhere, love can befriend you today. Free from all care, like birds on the air, soar above griefs and worries, seek joy and be gay. Often on earth, things of great worth, worldly ambitions define. Sometimes a friend helps us ascend up from life's cares to the sky. Love is a star, oh shining afar. It can guide us and help us toward light to draw nigh. Now, in the songbook, is there a D major 7th in the songbook?
Yes.
There is? Okay, good. I just want to make sure because there's different flavors for choir, solo, duet, you know. Okay, now what I was doing there, I just want to, you may have seen some of this, but I'm doing, for Life is a Dream, A chord, I'm doing, and I'm alternating down to Life is a dream, just because it's fun. It sounds a little different, you know. Life is a dream, then E chord, time like a stream. So I'm alternating between 6 and 5 in
Do you
that
do the
case.
6 or the 5 first?
Always the root chord.
Oh.
So that would be the 6, the lower one, usually, you know. Carries our burdens. Now in this case, away, that D major 7th is only one beat.
So you don't have time for.
So you don't have time to pick it. I just strum all 4 strings. Away, if you can, you know. Never despair, joys everywhere. Love can befriend you today. Free from all care, like birds on the air, soar above griefs and worries, seek joy and be gay. Okay, now I want you to practice in this next week picking chords like that. You too. Picking chords like that, starting with the root note all the time, every single time, and then on the next strum with your thumb, pick a different string. Okay? So with The only thing you really can't do that easily on is the F chord, because the D you can get away with, going down to the A. On the F chord, you can't go down there. It just doesn't sound right. Unless you're barring it, okay? That way you can start like a full thing. But whatever you do, so in that case you have to do the same string twice. Okay, but just practice starting with the root note and then alternating with a different note.
And so the root note with the D, it's still the chord above where your fingers are.
Yes, because that's the D string. And then for the second alternate note, in this case you can get away with going down to the A because it's part of the chord. You're just lucky in that way. It's fun? It's like,
It's
oh,
fun. It's gonna take me a while.
all these beautiful string sounds in the background. Okay, so that's like really, really basic kind of stuff.
Really great.
And it's 2:12 right now. So we ought to kind of wrap up with particular things that we want to cover till our next time. So what are other things that we said we'd cover but we haven't yet?
Strumming
Strumming, thank you.
and rhythm, you said, right?
And
Rhythm.
rhythm, it's kind of the same. Okay, pick an example of something that you're,
What strum to use for a song? And I know that you're supposed to strum hard on the downbeat,
yeah,
and
I will tell you what I do, or kind of, yeah. I'll also tell you that people are different in the way that they feel rhythm inside. So it may be natural you to feel rhythm, it may not. And that's okay. Different people have, it's just like meditating. Some see the light, some hear the sound, some feel peace in their hearts, some do nothing but love God, It's all good. So, but just if rhythm seems to come naturally to some, that's just because they've practiced for lifetimes and they just have it in them, So if it doesn't for you, that's okay. But just since you asked the question, so I'll do Life is a Dream, okay? Life is a dream, time like a stream, carries our burdens away. Now, notice I'm just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. It always does that, but I'll emphasize different loudnesses, softnesses while I'm doing this. So I can do the downbeat, but I can also do the upbeat, so so you can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or you can do.
You're not always going up and down, you're skipping.
I am going up and down the whole time. You'll notice my hand is always going up
But
and
your
down.
strings aren't touching.
But
Sometimes you skip.
sometimes I skip.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yep. But the rhythm is just the same.
When
Yep.
do we know when to skip?
That's what you gotta feel. Life is a E, A, F, E, D minor 7, E, A, E, Question. Think of the words and have your guitar sing the words, because once you're comfortable with the chords and it's no longer your brain is like all preoccupied with what are my fingers trying to do to get that chord, once it's natural, it's just like harmonium. Once you kind of,
Get the fundamentals.
yeah, you get the fundamentals, then you can just start feeling. So in this case, play with me, and if you have the chords, that helps, You have your chords on your phone?
Yep.
Okay, and you can look at this, whatever, but try thinking of the words. Have your guitar sing the words. Okay, so life is
If he calls them out, you guys don't you need this?
No, we're okay.
like a stream, carries our burdens away. Never despair, joys everywhere. God can befriend you today. Free from all care, like birds on the air, soar above griefs and worries, seek joy and be gay. Sing it to me on your guitar and your voice. Things a great word, worldly ambitions divine. Sometimes a friend helps us ascend from life's cares to the sky. Love is a star, though shining afar. It can guide us and help us toward light to draw nigh. Love is a star, though shining afar. It can guide us and help us toward light to draw nigh.
Nice, Diamante. I saw you getting this drumming pattern.
She was getting into it.
See, with all of us going, you just felt the momentum. You weren't thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because I was watching you keep
I was trying
time
to see
exactly at
where
this.
my eyes are going to where
But
are
you didn't
the
even
chords
know it,
next?
and I saw this hand was just going along
Right.
with everybody else.
I could keep that even though it was on the wrong
Suddenly,
chord.
she's a guitarist.
Yeah. And I just ignored even trying the D minor.
Okay, now look, now that we're having the pick and doing the strums, let's get back to the basics again of what strings do we want to,
Right.
Okay.
and what do
So you're
we
still
not
thinking
want to.
about when I'm playing that D
You
versus
are.
when I go to the E, I want to play all these.
Yeah.
When I go back to the D, I'm just playing these guys again.
I mean, if you're doing a around the campfire really loud banging away hootenanny or something, then you can get away with playing those other things. But if
Yeah.
you're playing at a Sunday service, you want to play it clean, you
Yeah.
know? So yeah, so when you get to the D major 7th, you want to only do those bottom 4. You don't want to do
D major 7. Well, any D. Just a D major anyway is still the bottom.
and A. So, okay, now listen. Okay, so life, you can get away with because E's part of the A chord. But it's cleaner to kind of focus on the A. Try to get the A first if you can when you're strumming. At least look at it and kind of put your pick on it.
At least say hi to it, acknowledge its
so
presence.
that you know that it's there.
Hey,
you know,
string.
as a good habit.
Hello.
You don't want to just unconsciously bang away on all 6 strings.
So just about every chord, we just do the root, where the,
Yeah, but what you did, that's an A, yeah.
yeah?
So emphasize that root note first. Try
Oh.
not to automatically play
Oh.
that string. You can get away with it where it won't sound
I didn't
bad.
touch that one. Did
I know, but when you do this, you're going to tend to want to do all of this.
So show me how you emphasize it.
Well, just
Where you
consciously,
are.
like, see, eventually you're going to maybe, want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I do actually want to, yeah.
Or if you have finger picks on, you just want to know what strings you're plucking. That's another thing you could try, is do that alternate thing that I was showing you
Yeah.
earlier, but do it with a pick. So that you're getting the right, bum, 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 bum. Life is a dream, time like a stream, carries our
That's what they've been doing while I've been watching them and wondering what they were doing.
never
I'm
despair.
gonna take this over.
Joys everywhere, love can befriend you today. See, it's more interesting that way.
Absolutely.
Now you're going to hear guitarists like Panduranga, Prashad, etc., Ramesha. You're going to hear them and just notice what they do that's like variants that are really kind of interesting. And it's delicious to listen to a really nice guitar accompaniment because it's not just boring, you know, it's just nice. And it helps the singers too when they just have. Now, that's the last thing I want to mention here is I'm telling you all these things to emphasize, and you're going to be so proud that you got it right. The other thing is you want to de-emphasize yourself. You want to just not have your ego predominate whatever you're playing for. You know, everybody has their favorite musical groups, perhaps, but I'll just date myself and talk about the Beatles, okay? And Ringo Starr is my favorite example of a drummer that is just basically supportive. He's egoless. Everything he does is perfect for the song. It supports the song. It doesn't draw attention and say, look at me and what I'm doing, you know, whether it's just in your head or whether you're trying to, I know we aren't trying to get other people to do that. But you listen to philosophy and song albums, which are the Dharma Das and Nirmala, and they recorded it in India along with Nirmala, and Leela and Anand and Kirtani. That is so tasty, but listen to Dharma Das's guitar because it's just quietly supportive and tasty and beautiful. Watch him live. Anytime he's playing live, even for a kirtan, it's just, he's not even there. He's just playing the basic kind of beautiful guitar supporting music for the whole sound. He's not drawing attention to guitar. He's one instrument in a whole orchestra. So the more you can do that is just appropriately support how God is expressing through you without unduly, you know, being large. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So focus on that the coming week also.
Nice.
Okay. All right. That's enough for now.
So
Nice.
we're gonna.
Thanks, gang. So when are we going to want to get together again? Should we just wait
Yeah,
and
we
pull
should
you
wait
all
together.
a couple of weeks hence or something?
That's
And-
good. I've got
Yeah.
Say it again for the next one.
Yeah. I'll pull you like on, you know, whenever seems right. We can have 2 weeks. Look at your llama socks. Those
These are-
llamas,
Yeah,
cute.
there's a llama farm here somewhere that a bunch of us girls went to. It
Great.
was really fun.
Yeah. So I'll pull,
Yeah.
and then we'll just kind of figure out what feels right.
Bi-monthly sounds good.
Bi-monthly,
What's the 2
yeah.
weeks? That sounds
Yeah.
nice.
So 2 weeks
Okay.
and we're
All
gonna
right.
learn
All
this
right,
one
gold.
and we're gonna